Well, home is where the heart is, and for Steelers Nation, there's no place like Acrisure Stadium. Under Coach Tomlin, Pittsburgh is 12-6 in home openers. So it's time now for the keys to the game, presented by your neighborhood Ford store. Let's send it over one final time to Bob and Coach. Guys.
All right, Missy, thanks. One of the keys, I would imagine, is being at home. It's your home opener, and, you know, Steeler Nation loves to show up for this. I'm sure there's a lot of excitement. How much can you pull from that excitement as far as your team is concerned?
You know, there's a lot that you can pull from it, and certainly it's going to create a hostile environment for Sam Darnold and company, but it also creates some challenges for us from a defensive perspective in terms of communicating. And so we pay respect to that with how we prep during the week. We use crowd noise in our defensive segments to get ready for it, because we certainly wouldn't want the crowd to be quiet. We'll deal with it. Sam Darnold and company has to deal with it as well. But certainly it's an awesome opportunity to have our home opener to participate and play in front of our fans, and really excited about it.
Another key, and we didn't really get too far into it, but we should, because special teams, there's always three phases to this game. You guys have benefited from that last week. In this game, it could come down to that as well. And special teams was a check mark for you guys in Boswell. What is it about kickers today that seem to, the length of these field goals keeps getting bigger and bigger?
You know, I just think in general it's the evolution of the athlete. You know, 25 years ago or so when I came into the league, it wasn't many wideouts that looked like DK Metcalf, you know. And I just think that's how it goes. A 300-pound lineman used to be a big guy. A 300-pound lineman is an undersized guy today. And I think the leg strength component of it is just another example of the evolution of the athlete.
Was there any concern about 60 yards with him? Because you could have gone for another play potentially last week.
No concerns whatsoever. I watch Boz every day. I understand not only his capabilities, but his desire and his competitive spirit. Not only is he capable of making kicks like that consistently, he wants to. And that's why we're all excited he's on our team.
Yeah, 60 yards could have been good from 70. I'm sure he'll be bugging you from 70 yards next
No
time.
question.
All right.
Steelers Nation Wire. Let's break this one down. There's been a lot of talk after the Steelers' big win in Week 1 over the Jets. One ESPN analyst, Mina Kimes, came out and made a brutal prediction. She says the Seahawks will beat the Steelers at home in Week 2. But when you look closer at what we've seen so far, the injuries, the stats, the momentum, there's plenty of reason to believe Pittsburgh doesn't just win, they prove a lot of people wrong. Let's get into it. First, what Mina Kimes said. She praised Pittsburgh's offense versus the Jets. Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns, looked sharp, and the unit seemed to work more efficiently than many expected. But she thinks Seattle is a tougher test. She expects the Seahawks defense will not give the Steelers easy stuff like the Jets did. She feels Pittsburgh's offense will have fewer wide-open chances, fewer mistakes, more resistance. That's what she's banking on in her pick, Seattle, based on the SI article of the prediction. Now, let's see what the facts are on Pittsburgh's side, because my feeling is those facts point to a Steelers win, and here's why. What favors Pittsburgh? Momentum and confidence from Week 1. Aaron Rodgers delivered. 4 touchdowns, spreading the ball, great passer rating, and DK Metcalf being a legitimate threat. Metcalf's stats so far show that in his one game for Pittsburgh this season, he caught 4 passes for 83 yards, averaging over 20 yards per catch. That's explosive. That's not just stats, that's making defenses pay when you stretch them. And when the offense is scary, it helps the defense too. Momentum shifts happen. Seattle's defensive weaknesses and injuries. Seattle's defense is not a lightweight, especially with players like Devon Witherspoon, Jerron Reed, Leonard Williams, but there are cracks. Witherspoon is listed as doubtful. Also, Seattle safety Nick Emenwari is out. These are key pieces. If those corners, safeties are hurting, they can't cover Metcalf and DK's guys as cleanly. Steelers are favored and playing at home. Vegas and sportsbooks have Pittsburgh as a slight favorite, around -2.5 or so. That matters. Home crowd, crowd noise, familiarity. Acrisure Stadium is tough on visiting teams. Plus, Seattle coming off a loss means they're under pressure. Steelers coming in with confidence after a win. This is the kind of game Philly, KC, Baltimore dread missing. Youth and depth on Pittsburgh's defense, plus adjustments. Pittsburgh allowed 32 points versus the Jets, a need to clean up, especially the run defense. But rookies like Yaya Black are expected to see more playing time. Veteran leadership is present. TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, the defensive heart of the team. They know what holes were exposed, and there's time to adjust. Seattle runs the ball well, especially with Kenneth Walker III, maybe Charbonnet, but Pittsburgh's front seven can disrupt if properly focused. Steelers' schedule and expectations. It's early. Yes, Seattle is a tougher test than the Jets, but Pittsburgh's offense has already shown it has answers. Rodgers is comfortable, Metcalf is healthy, and the rest of the skill positions are stepping up. The Steelers need to use this home game as a statement, show that Week 1 was not a fluke. The team believes in Super Bowl aspirations. A championship mindset is there, and a win in this one pushes that belief forward. Weaknesses, or what Steelers must manage. Of course, nothing is perfect. Seattle's front could pressure Rodgers. The Seahawks secondary has talent despite some injuries. Steelers need to ensure pass protection is strong. Roethlisberger already warned about sacks hurting Rodgers. They need to avoid big explosive plays, be disciplined in run defense, especially early downs, but those are fixable. With focus, film study, the kinds of adjustments Tara Lawston and the coaches seem likely to make. All things considered, Steelers are positioned to win this game. More than that, they're positioned to silence doubters like Mina Kimes. The odds, the injuries, the performance in Week 1, the offensive firepower, the defensive potential, all lean toward Pittsburgh. If they protect Rodgers, limit Seattle's run game, and capitalize in key moments, this game is theirs. So yes, my prediction, Steelers win this at home. A tight, maybe 24-17 kind of game, but Steelers win. Steelers Nation, I want to hear from you. Do you believe Pittsburgh can defy the prediction and beat Seattle? What must the defense fix to make that happen? And how confident are you in Rodgers, Metcalf, and this offense continuing this kind of play? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you're fired up, and be sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire so you don't miss any breakdowns like this all season long. Because in 2025, Pittsburgh isn't just playing, Pittsburgh is aiming.